Okay, I'm going to short that, and this will be the final transaction of the day. See if NASDAQ can dive down there now. And there we go. Boom. Alright, what's going on, everyone? In this video here, I'm going to be overviewing the top 3 setups from NASDAQ and EOS in the last week. Now, I am going to get on here and say I'm not going to pretend that this is the easiest marketplace in the world, okay? It's definitely a marketplace. We have to be very much so content with enough, and greed, as always, especially now, cannot be a factor, and you just really have to go for low-hanging fruit targets. Now, with that said, there still is obviously great opportunity in this marketplace to make yourself some money if you know how to seize the correct opportunity and be patient inside of that gray area where the marketplace isn't moving so great. So, I mean, we kind of start out of the gate and we have like this ridiculous new week opening gap opening here. Okay, you see this huge separation in price. And anytime we have a huge gap opening, like I understand, like I'm just going to sit on my hands. Monday is not really going to be preferred to trade, and I just usually sit that out entirely. So fast forward to Tuesday, we find ourselves an amazing model, specifically model number 3, that was taken live with Discord members. And looking at it here, we're going to pop on replay, and it's going to bring me to number 3, the third best setup of the week, model number 3, post New York session macro short setup. Looking at it, you can see right out of the gate at midnight opening, price soared to the upside, and multiple things are taking place to kind of set the stage for the scalp to the downside that I'm about to overview for you guys. We've taken buy side liquidity, not just some random high that have buyer stops above it, but this is previous daily high. Nothing is more important intraday than previous daily high, previous daily low. In this case here, we sweep previous daily high for resting buy stops, and we deliver a premium sell side inefficiency right here, extend to the right side of the chart. So we wick up into that. We have a strong hourly rejection up off of that, and this sets the stage for the model. So let's go ahead and dive down to the lower time frames. All right, looking at the chart here, as you can see, we have another run on short-term buy stops here inside of that 60-minute imbalance from the higher time frame. Following that, we find ourselves with a change of state delivery on the 5-minute chart. Now I'm using this up candle because this was the up candle with the largest body above buy side liquidity. Okay, so once we change our state delivery below that opening price there, that right there is what I'm looking for when I'm anticipating a model like this. Following that, we have a small little baby retracement. We're tapping the very low end of that old 60-minute imbalance, and if you take a close look, we have this fair value gap right here. So that right there is going to be your entry point. And what are we targeting? Well, that's the most important part. Well, if you see here, we have these relative lows stacked up here, and then below that, and which is going to be your real target, is we have this prominent buy side imbalance left behind right here. Okay, and this right here is going to be your lowest hanging fruit target, and that's really all you need. This is more than enough. It's a great amount of handles. You can pay yourself really nicely on this model right here, assuming that you're patient through everything else. So if you want to get a little bit beyond that inefficiency, this right here is this new week opening gap high. Okay, you can aim for that. That's a magnet on price as well. But ultimately, this right here was the main objective for a short-term model number 3 scalp going against those who've been making money to the upside. Now, there's definitely a few more tools that I can pull out for the setup here and annotate to you guys, but I want to keep this video rather concise and, get to the point and, keep things rolling for you guys. So, all right, moving on to number 2, the second best setup in my eyes of the week. We find ourselves with a classic model number 2 that I teach every single day live inside of my Discord. Starting out in the 15-minute chart here, because this was the catalyst and base of the actual model number 2. We understand that we're in some very severe bearish order flow here on this Friday. Like the market has continuously offered lower with vast and really prominent down candles, right? And while I'm in this, I'm not going to try and chase the move. That's certainly not the case. But if I find a sound structured model with logical levels that I can target, right, that's what you want to get a part of. So definitely a lot of patience was required to actually catch this model. Like you just sit through a lot of grunt work and, just environments where people were going to lose a lot of equity, I'll say it that way. But now, with that said, we wait through all this price action, and then we find ourselves in that 2 p.m. session kill zone macro. Okay, and coming up into this, we're obviously looking to short, but what's the target here, and what are we coming up off of? Well, we're utilizing these higher time frame key levels here, which is this right here, these 2 consecutive upper close candles. That's going to be a 15-minute order block. We offer price up into that in a short-term premium. Okay, when I say premium, I'm utilizing this prominent swing point, the most recent one, down to the low that it created. Okay, you can see here, price was offered up into an optimal trend entry, 62% retracement of this price leg. Okay, meanwhile, we're filling in this very large wick. Okay, that's an inefficiency. We revert to midpoint. That's what I have annotated here, and this order block. And here's the key component here. 2 key components, actually. We create a swing high up off of those 15-minute key levels, and then we face through opposing arrays. We just completely obliterate them and trade straight past them And I'm talking specifically about this 15-minute buy sign and bounce right here. We create a 15-minute swing high, which is always significant intraday, and the type of stuff that I look for when I'm framing a setup about for this time frame. And then we have a huge 15-minute candle here just completely facing through, closing below this opposing 15-minute imbalance. Okay, and as soon as I see that, I'm understanding that this is obviously bearish order flow continuing. And now I'm just going to look for what's the logical level that I can look for price to draw into. Well, my eyes immediately jump to, okay, yes, these relative lows, but most importantly, this level right here, if you look back in your own charts, you're going to find out that this is actually the current week's new week opening gap high. And if you're familiar with this, you understand this acts as a severe magnet in price. Okay, and this is the higher time frame key level I'm going to look for price to draw down into using the framework that I'm giving you right here. Okay, so with that, we're going to scale down to the 5-minute chart. All right, and from that, we're down at the 5-minute chart now, which is actually the time frame that yields the entry and was allowed me to make over $600 on this day particularly. And this right here is a classic model number 2 that I teach inside my Discord as well. There's 3 of them. This one happens to be model number 2. Coming up off of that 15-minute wick in order block, all right, we have this large displacement to the downside. We obviously have bearish order flow underway. And now, as the market's dropping down, I could get in here and impulsively short right away with the fear of missing the move, or I can wait for something that I know repeats, and that is quite literally this up close candle right here. Okay, so from this high that was created and our higher time frame key level that we're anticipating price to trade down into, that's called an implied dealing range. So somewhere around that midpoint of that implied dealing range, I'm looking for an up close candle to perform. That's right here. As soon as that up close candle is formed, I am shorting that once we have something like this. We trade up, create the up candle, shift below it there. That's a change of state delivery. Price opens up on this candle here, wicks up into that up candle body. There's your short. What are you doing? You're putting your stop loss above that up candle and you're aiming for that higher time frame key level, and that's it. All right, now we find ourselves at number 1, the absolute best setup of the week, undeniable. This was the cleanest setup in the week where it's like everything is performing. We have classic power of 3 on the day. All the open, high, low, close components are coming together. That just, really makes this like a clear, classic daily template. And I'm only saying that because aside from that, like this is a week that can really make you pull your hair out if you're not disciplined and you don't have patience. Because like this market, it like really makes you wait for it. But when it comes, you seize that opportunity with assertiveness, just like we did on stream. And diving straight into it, okay, it's pretty simple. We've been very bullish on the week, continuously offering price higher. I'm not trying to pick tops in an environment, especially when I see highs this clean. Look at these relative equal highs. This is going to be previous daily high / buy side liquidity. So this is going to be my target on this particular day here. So what am I looking for? In a classic buying day when I'm bullish, right? That's what I'd be looking for. I'm watching that midnight opening. I want to see price open, trade below that opening to accumulate short positions at some type of discount. So what I'd be doing is anchoring this nearest term prominent swing low here up to the high. Okay, and you can see price was offered right down into a discount below midnight opening and below current new week opening gap Sunday opening. Okay, so whenever I see that type of thing, I view this as bullish power of 3. Accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. So let's go down to the lower time frames. So as the members and I were watching this intraday price action real time with our bullish bias in mind, obviously originally like it was very choppy, quote unquote, right? But what are we waiting for? We're waiting for the 9:30 opening to come out into the marketplace, and then I'm waiting for some pool of sell side liquidity to be ran, and that happens right here. Price trades down below these short-term stops, takes that, consolidates, which is accumulation of these sell stops here, and then we get that displacement to the upside that I'm looking for. Boom. As soon as I see that, I'm looking for some type of PD array to utilize and buy, right? Put my stop loss down below at a logical level, and then also target that previous daily high / buy side liquidity pool. Okay? So looking at it, in this case here, these are these 2 down close candles right here that formed. That's going to work as a bullish order block. As soon as we shift above that, boom, that's a change of state delivery. And we wick down right here. That right there is a buy. You're buying there, and what are we doing? Entry right here at the down candles, stop loss anchored down below that swing point, and then we aim for previous daily high, and that offers 1 to 3 risk to reward. This is beautiful, and this is why this was the best setup of the day, because it encapsulates quite literally what we look for on any type of classic buying day. Now, I will say, actually, even though this is the entry that I took on stream, this was not the best long opportunity here today. It wasn't. Although, it still offers the same target, right? Look what happens. We fast forward a little bit up. Price trades to the upside. People are probably trying to chase price at a premium there. They know that, so they go against them on a short-term basis. What do? Short-term sell stops ran from the marketplace. We have another displacement to the upside. Boom, beautiful. Look for a PDRA to use right here. It was a beautiful breaker. Low, high, run on stops. Displacement above that, right? And then when it works up into that, you want to buy that. And same exact thing. Buy, stop loss below the breaker, aim for previous daily high. So this right here concludes the absolute best setup of the week. Not every single week is going to be absolutely ideal, clean, and something that's just stress free. Some weeks you're gonna have to sit through it, really go through it to really carve out some income here, and that's absolutely okay. Okay, you signed up to be a trader. You have to take what is given and be content with enough. So I hope you guys got something out of this, found it useful, informative, all that good stuff. And if you did, hit the like button. I appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one.